Hi fellas, this is Chemaddicts again with the solution. Welcome back to another video tutorial. Well fellas, now we're gonna solve question 3 of this question paper. Okay, so if you have missed the previous solution, don't worry, I'll put the link to the previous solution at the end of this tutorial. So until then, stay tuned. Okay, so now let's solve question 3 of this question paper. Okay, so at first let us change the color of this pen. Okay, so the question says an aqueous solution of a transition metal ion formed a green precipitate with both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solutions. The green precipitate dissolved to form a blue solution with excess ammonia but was insoluble in excess sodium hydroxide. Okay, which of these is the transition metal ion? So here the test for this transition metal ion is given, and observation is also noted down over here. The observation is also given over here. So we're going to utilize this information in order to find the correct answer. Okay, now at first let us break the information into small chunks. Okay, small pieces of into small piece. Okay, so here the solution is aqueous, we already know, of transition metal formed a green precipitate with both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solutions. Okay, so at first transition metal ion forms green precipitate with both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solutions. Okay, the green precipitate dissolved to form a blue solution. So this green precipitate later dissolved to form a blue solution with excess ammonia but was insoluble with excess sodium hydroxide. Okay. Okay, got it. So now which of these is the transition metal ion? So here at first we have converted this transition metal ion into sodium hydroxide solutions. We have converted this transition metal ion into metal hydroxide by reacting it with ammonia and sodium hydroxide solutions. Okay, so at first let us discuss some of the concept regarding this question. Okay, so now let's discuss hydroxides of transition metal cations. Okay, sorry for my handwriting fellas, my handwriting is really bad. Okay, ooh, so bad, whatever. So now what we were discussing, okay, hydroxides of transition metal cations. So if a small amount of sodium hydroxide or ammonium hydroxide is added to the solution of transition metal cations, a precipitate of metal hydroxide is formed. Okay, so if a small amount of sodium hydroxide and ammonium, sorry, forget about the I have forget about the formula of ammonium hydroxide. Shame, you don't know the formula of ammonium hydroxide. Really shame for me. I'm ashamed of myself, fellas. What to do? Okay, ammonium hydroxide, now it's right, is added to the solution. Okay, is added to transition metal cations, a precipitate of metal hydroxide is formed. Okay, So a precipitate of metal hydroxide is formed. Okay, is formed. So as you can see here, at first we have taken an aqueous solution of a transition metal ion, an unknown transition metal cation. Okay, then we have added then we have added ammonia and sodium hydroxide solution to that unknown transition metal ion, and it gives a green precipitate. See, it forms a precipitate when it reacts with both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solutions according to this concept. So we have added small amount of sodium hydroxide and ammonium hydroxide to these transition metal cations. A green precipitate of metal hydroxide is formed. Here we can see that a green precipitate is already formed. Okay, so then what we will do, we gonna add further excess ammonia, and then we gonna add the same solution to the further excess sodium hydroxide solution, and let's see what happens. Okay, so then we're gonna observe whether that precipitate may or may not dissolve in excess sodium hydroxide or ammonium hydroxide solution. Okay, so the precipitate may or may not dissolve in excess sodium hydroxide or ammonium hydroxide. Not repeating this mistake once again. Now I know the formula of ammonium hydroxide. Okay, stop trolling me. Okay, the precipitate may or may not dissolve in excess sodium hydroxide or ammonium hydroxide solution. So it may or may not dissolve in either of the solution. So in this case, this green precipitate that we have formed earlier by reacting transition metal ion with both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solution. Okay, so that green precipitate dissolves, forming a blue solution means that this green precipitate has dissolved in excess ammonia. Okay, but this green precipitate doesn't dissolve in excess sodium hydroxide solution. Okay, so that is the key point of this problem. So now this thing will give us the exact answer to this question. Okay, now you can see that the half of the answer has been mentioned on this question. So that's the main trick of this question paper. So nothing is hard, everything would be given in the question paper. We just need to figure it out. That's it. Okay, so that's the loophole of unit 5. Haha, I know. Now you know. Okay, from me. Just kidding. Okay, don't mind. Please don't mind. Please put a smile on your face. Please. Okay. Correct. Thank you for putting your smile on your face. Okay, by putting your smile on your face. Is my grammar correct? May not. Okay, you are again laughing at my speaking. Okay, very good, fine. So in here uh, what we were discussing. Okay, here uh, at first we have formed a green precipitate, then we add excess ammonia and excess sodium hydroxide solution to this green precipitate, and we have observed that this green precipitate dissolve in excess ammonia but not in sodium hydroxide. So now let's see who gives this thing. Okay, so now let us recall what happens with chromium 3 plus ion. What will this chromium 3 plus ion gives with this thing? Okay, with this excess ammonia and excess sodium hydroxide solution. Well, let us put a mark over here. Excess ammonia solution, or you might say ammonium hydroxide. Okay, let me put solution over there. Okay, excess ammonia and excess sodium hydroxide solution. Okay, so let's see. So this first, if we add first, okay, if we add sodium this ammonia and sodium hydroxide solution with this chromium 3 plus ion first forms green hydroxide precipitate. Okay, we haven't added excess ammonia solution or excess sodium hydroxide solution up till now. First we have just reacted chromium 3 plus ion with ammonia and sodium hydroxide solution, just like that. First what we have done, an aqueous solution of transition metal ion. In this case we have added chromium 3 plus ion, okay, with both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solutions. First we have added chromium 3 plus ion with ammonia and sodium hydroxide solution. So this gives green precipitate at first. Okay, first it gives green precipitate. Now we gonna add excess ammonia and then we gonna add excess sodium hydroxide to see the change. Okay, now let's see what it gives with excess ammonia. So first chromium 3 plus first forms green hydroxide precipitate. That's fine. Okay, on further adding excess ammonium solution, it stays green. Alright, so chromium 3 plus ion first forms green hydroxide precipitate. On further adding excess ammonia solution, it stays green. So on further adding excess sodium hydroxide solution, stays green. Okay, done with chromium 3 plus ion. Okay, we are done, complete. So this shouldn't be the answer. Here the result gives this green precipitate should have given blue solution with excess ammonia, but in this case it is green, but was insoluble in excess sodium hydroxide solution. But this this precipitate was soluble on excess sodium hydroxide solution, so A shouldn't be the answer. Okay, A is not the answer. So we will, okay, let me mark this with red pen to avoid confusion. So A shouldn't be the answer. Okay, now let's move on to B. whether copper 2 plus will give the positive test or not. Okay, let's see. So at first let us see what does this first gives. Okay, so if we first add both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solution to copper 2 plus ion. Okay, so it copper 2 plus ion first forms blue hydroxide precipitate. Okay, am I clear? Hope so. So copper 2 plus first forms blue hydroxide ion by adding both ammonia or sodium hydroxide solutions. Okay, so if we further add excess ammonia, it will give deep blue or royal blue solution. Okay, in here if we further add excess sodium hydroxide solution, the solution, if we add excess sodium hydroxide solution to the precipitate, okay, uh, the precipitate is insoluble. Oh, it looks like it matched with the condition given, but no, here in this case this copper 2 plus ion first gives blue precipitate with this thing. Here this doesn't match with this condition. Here it was green precipitate. The copper 2 plus ion forms blue precipitate. Okay, so that is why copper 2 plus ion will won't be the answer. Copper 2 plus ion will also not be the answer. Okay, so we gonna avoid copper 2 plus. So why we are avoiding copper 2 plus? That's because copper 2 plus first forms blue precipitate, okay, on adding both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solution. So in here the information is given green precipitate. Since the information is given green precipitate and the answer and the result comes as the result comes as blue precipitate, so we gonna avoid this thing. So the copper is avoided due to this result, forms blue hydroxide precipitate with both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solutions. Okay, so that is why the copper 2 plus is being avoided. Now let us look on for iron 2 plus. Okay, so let's see what does it gives. First forms mud green hydroxide, mud green hydroxide precipitate. Okay, so iron 2 plus first forms mud green hydroxide precipitate with ammonia and sodium hydroxide solutions. Okay, on further adding excess ammonia solution, it won't give any result. The precipitate is insoluble with excess ammonia solution. Okay, so the precipitate is insoluble with excess ammonia. The precipitate is also insoluble with excess sodium hydroxide. Tada, gotcha. Here this doesn't meet yeah, it kinda match with this result. Here it was mud green and this is green. These are close colors, but still this thing doesn't match this thing. Here the result was it gives a blue solution with excess ammonia, but in here the precipitate is totally insoluble with excess ammonia. That's it. So that's why we are avoiding this result as well. So that's it. So now by this meantime you have come to know which should be the answer. So obviously the last one would be the answer D. So D should be the answer. Now the question is why D should be the answer. Let's check. So if we first add both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solution to this transition metal ion, that is this nickel 2 plus metal ion, so it first forms green hydroxide precipitate. Okay, green hydroxide precipitate. Then on further adding excess ammonia solution to this precipitate, this will give pale blue precipitate. Okay, sorry, extremely sorry, this should be solution, since this is supposed to be the answer, so this should be the solution, deep blue solution, deep blue solution. Okay, so on further adding excess sodium hydroxide solution, this green precipitate is insoluble. This green hydroxide precipitate is insoluble with excess sodium hydroxide solution. See, only this answer, only this nickel 2 plus metal cation, matches with the conditions given in the question. So as you can see here, the conditions that are given in the question are really essential for finding the answer. Since the total mark for this question is 1, so we need to work it out really first. Unlike me, I'm really slow, that's why I never made it till the end of the exam. Okay, just kidding. Okay, you should not keep the question paper incomplete. Okay, make it complete. So by the way, so since the total mark for this question is 1 and all the information given in the question, so you need to know everything that are provided over here. Okay, so you need to memorize these things that are written over here. So this is how you gonna revise these things. Okay, so you know that everything is given. Unit 5 is really complicated and there are much more things to remember, so that's why while solving this type of question paper, you need to memorize this thing, okay, along this question paper. So that's why we are reviewing each and every concept while solving the question. Okay, so that's it. So say along with me. Okay, so copper, sorry, okay, let us first write the answer to this question. The answer to this question is D, so the answer is D. Okay, so now let us revise this thing once again. Chromium 3 plus ion first forms green hydroxide precipitate with both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solutions. Say along with me. Okay, nursery rhyme, say along with me. Chromium 3 plus first forms chromium 3 plus first forms green hydroxide precipitate with both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solutions. Okay, with excess ammonia solution stays green, with excess sodium hydroxide solution stays green. With copper 2 plus ion with copper 2 plus ion first forms blue hydroxide precipitate with both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solutions. Okay. uh, then excess then giving excess ammonia solution to the precipitate, the precipitate forms deep blue solution with ammonia solution, but with excess sodium hydroxide solution the precipitate is insoluble. Okay, fine. Now let's move on to uh, iron 2 plus. With iron 2 plus ion first forms mud green precipitate, mud green hydroxide precipitate. Iron 2 plus first forms mud green hydroxide precipitate with both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solutions. uh, this precipitate is insoluble with excess ammonia solution, and this precipitate is insoluble with excess sodium hydroxide solution. Okay, so with nickel 2 plus ion first forms green hydroxide precipitate with both ammonia and sodium hydroxide solutions. Okay, with excess ammonia solution the precipitate forms deep blue solution. With excess sodium hydroxide solution the precipitate is insoluble. Okay, so that's the whole concept regarding this question. So pause this video for a while and memorize this whole thing, okay, that are mentioned over here. Memorize the whole concept over here. This concept shouldn't be included, this concept is not included in the question paper. This information wouldn't be included in the question paper. This concept wouldn't be included in the question paper. Okay, so you need to memorize and recall these things. So please pause the video for a while and memorize this thing up. You don't need to check the book or notes for this. Just memorize these things and you are done with it once for a while. Okay fellas, that's it. That's the whole solution to this question. So the question, though the question is though the video solution is pretty lengthy, lengthy enough, the video solution is lengthy enough. Okay, so I'm really sorry for that. So all I want is to recall the concept regarding this question, so that you don't need to uh, read the whole book or read the whole notes that are provided to you, resources provided to you. So fellas, that's it. So learn along with me. I'm gonna solve this question paper, so let's hope that we're gonna able to solve this whole question paper. Okay, let's hope. Then we are done with it. So we are not done yet. That's how we're gonna solve this question paper. Okay, so fellas, thanks for watching this video tutorial. It means a lot to me that you have stick till the end. I really appreciate that you have come to this point and watching this thing over here, and I really appreciate for your feedback. I am doing the solution only for you fellas. Without you I wouldn't able to exist in this planet. It means a lot to me fellas. You are the main hope and main motivation for me to make this video tutorial. Okay, and I'm gonna carry on no matter what for you fellas. I'm only making this solution only for you fellas. It means a lot to me, and it takes both patience and time to make this solution. So please give your feedback regarding this solution. It means a lot to me. Okay, so congrats fellas, we have made it till the end. Help us improve our lessons by giving your feedback. Okay, either give a like or dislike, please. If you can give let us, if you can help us reach 100 likes on this video. Can we reach 100 likes on this video? Can we reach 100 likes on this video? If not, please give this video a dislike. It's up to you, it's totally up to you. Okay, I really appreciate that. Either give this video a like or dislike, both of them will do. Okay, if you can, please smash both the buttons, it's up to you. Okay, so please do comment below about the tutorial. How was it? In which part of this tutorial you don't understand? Which concept is still unclear to you? Okay, please let us inform. Okay, so if you found this video tutorial helpful and informative, here are the similar solutions like this one. So click here, I'll put the link over here, the whole playlist of this solution over here. So you may click here to find the whole question paper solution over here, and it will be updated over time. Okay, so we have solved question number 1 and 2 before. So up till now you're gonna find question number 1, question number 2 and question number 3. So as the time proceed, the playlist will get bigger and eventually we will end up with the whole question paper on this playlist. Okay, so we will try our level best to update this whole playlist with the whole question paper. Let's hope that we gonna able to make it. Okay, so if you find this video tutorial helpful, please click over here to watch the other solution of this question paper. This is the whole this would be the playlist of this question paper. Okay, this would be the playlist of this whole question paper. Okay, so if you find this video tutorial helpful, please help us by clicking over here. You may click here to stay updated. Okay, so if you have click here to stay updated, you may click here to stay updated by subscribing to our channel. We really appreciate that. It's up to you. Okay, it doesn't matter whether you subscribe or not, but we really want your feedback. Subscribing to our channel is not really important, the feedback is really important. Okay, so